and welcome to this week's music takeaway. Like last week when we were looking at film music, this week we're going to be looking at a style of music. And it's been quite interesting having involved conversations with young people and grown-ups across North Tyneside about what this style of music means to them. So the style of music we were looking at is classical music. What is classical music? Now for some people, classical music is music from a period in history, the classical era. For others, it's another period of history, which is all of the historic music going from the medieval period through to the 20th century till popular music. For others, classical music is the music that was popular at the time of older people than you. So that could be then that your parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, whatever, the music of their era could be classed as classical music. But then this took us into another discussion about, do we still call that classical music or do we call that popular music? And is popular music just pop music, or is it everything that was really popular that people like to listen to all the way through the history of music? So some really involved discussion. So what we thought we'd do is we would get some clarification by talking to some grown-ups and getting their video responses of what that means to them. So we have a mixture of ideas of classical music that are from the classical era, or played using an orchestra, or from a period of history, or a period of time from an older generation, as we discussed, of music that interested them that you maybe would call popular music. So you're going to watch short films from all of those people. You're also going to watch a performance from James from Standing Upright, who also attends Whitley Bay High School. And James has picked his favourite piece of classical music at the moment, which is by a composer called Liszt. And he plays it on the piano. And what's interesting about this is not only is his performance amazing, but Liszt composed this and there was poetry written for it. So even back in history, music wasn't just music in its own context. It was telling a story. It could be connected to artwork or architecture or costume or unrequited love. In this case, this poem is about unrequited love, which means when you love somebody and they just don't love you back. Anyway, you choose what your favourite piece of classical music or popular music in history is to you. There's ideas in the Google Drive and the Performance Drive. You could do a fact file on your favourite composer. You could compose in the style of one of these composers or a style of a piece of music. There'll be ideas for that as well in the Google Drive in the composition section. And get your responses in, please, by next Sunday, which will be the 5th of July, no later than 5 p.m.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Johnston, and whilst my favourite piece of classical music changes all the time, at the moment I'm loving listening to a piece by Gerald Finzi, an English composer. He wrote this between 1925 and 1929, so between the wars, and it's called Eclogue for piano and strings, opus 10.
Hi, my name is Alan. I have a very eclectic taste in music, all decades, genres. My favourite time would be the 1980s. Like all generations, we like to think our teenage years had the best music. We know all the artists, the songs and the lyrics. Top of the Pops was a must. Music videos were becoming very popular at the time. We had bands like The Cure, The Smiths, Wham, Paul Young, Adam and the Ants, Human League, Pet Shop Boys, a-ha, Duran Duran and the Eurythmics. Annie Lennox, Dave Stewart, possibly my favourite band of the time. Favourite song, Sweet Dreams. Their use of video was always very original and striking. Their songs always evoke memories of watching Top of the Pops on a Thursday night with the family, listening to albums in my bedroom, or on my sister's Walkman, because I didn't have one. But like I said, it's a very eclectic taste. I love Buddy Holly, The Stones, The Kinks, Lindisfarne, ALO, Slade, Bowie, 70s punk, 80s metal, 90s Britpop, Nirvana, grunge, and musicals. At the moment, I'm listening to Dr. Feelgood, an English pub rock band from the 70s and 80s, that's these in the background, and a Scottish punk band from the 70s called the Rosillos. Very different. Have a listen. The music styles and fashion, very, very different, but yet from around the same decade. Hope you've enjoyed my video, and give some of the artists I've mentioned a listen to.
My favourite piece of classical music, however you want to define what classical music is quite often the last piece that I've performed or played live with other musicians, because for me classical music is so powerful because of how it makes you feel, particularly when you're playing it and also when you're listening to it. But if I had to pick one piece that's a favourite, I would go for the In Paradisum from Fauré's Requiem.
Hello, my name is Guy Swinton. I am a music teacher at King's Priory School, and my favourite piece of classical music is the Act 1 Overture to Tristan and Isolde by Richard Wagner. It was a piece that I studied for A-level music, and it's stuck with me ever since. The whole piece is just so laden with tension and grandiosity, if that's a word, that it really sort of grabs me. And it's, as I said, it's something that I've loved ever since I heard it for the first time, aged 17 when I was doing my A-levels. That's all right. Speak to you all soon.